And another week has almost come to a close. Everyone, welcome back to Biz by the Water for your 20th of November. November's almost over as well as this year. Christmas is almost there. Bismas is starting to open up for another year. Bismas has been around for the past 3 years. Last year we made it a bigger deal, but with Bismas Sports Trivia to come soon. Anyway, oh wow, it's Thursday again. Weather in Sydney today has been absolutely terrible. It started off absolutely sunny, boiling hot, and then it turned very windy, so it's going very south for Sydney at the moment. Speaking of going south down, you can check out my brand new podcast, Biz Politics, where I'm talking about the Liberal Party going absolutely south and a few other things. But you can also listen to the 3 podcasts that the Biz Network produces, including Biz Audio, Biz by the Water, which you're currently listening to, and Biz Politics. You can listen to them on YouTube now. It's much easier if you don't have the Apple Podcasts app, iHeart, or any of your other podcasting apps. So much easier, much of a bigger fan base to appeal to now. And also on the Lockdown Businesses page, you can you can watch restaurant reviews with my cousin and I, Ryan. We go around to different restaurants in the Burwood area, and we reviewed them. Last week we went and had pho, my first ever pho in Burwood, or I think it might have actually been Sydney, but that got a few views. I'm actually quite surprised. You can also check out some YouTube shorts of some, if you don't have the attention span to watch the full 2-minute long video, there's a 5-second YouTube short, a quick recap of what we had that night for dinner. But let's hop in right in today's episode. Last weekend they had the Metro Southeast swimming competition, the district competitions, long course for the year. It was great. That's actually my old region. So this time last year I was actually racing at that competition. I would have been that competition. And it was great. I saw some great results and not much really to comment on. I know some of the clubs there. Sydney Uni had a few new swimmers, actually, a few good friends of mine. Newington absolutely dominating out there. I didn't read somewhere. Someone told me that one of the Newington swimmers, they set 2 national times in their race. In the 100 breast, they did the first 50 out in a national time, and the 100 ended up being a national time as well. So I don't think that's been done many times before, but 2 national times in one race is pretty phenomenal. So that's great. And another thing, you know what, I might use this at some point. If you ever want to psych out your opponents, just max the first 50 of a 100 or 200. You'll mess up their pacing and they won't know what's going on. They'll think they're going too slow. But that's for another day. Maybe I'll try that next time I'm doing a 200 butterfly. I'll max the first 50, but then I'll drown for the last 3 laps. But and hey, if you want to psych out your opponents, I'm not encouraging that. Biz by the Water does not endorse any of that. Anyway, that's what one of the coaches told me over the weekend. And this weekend, I believe it is a SOPAC qualifying meet, so that's going to be good. I think it's on Saturday afternoon, just for a tiny bit of fun. And then in a few weeks, next weekend, we have the Youth Metros. They changed the name from Junior to Youth for some reason, but Youth Metros will be next weekend on, I believe it might be Friday, either Saturday and Sunday, or maybe just Saturday and Sunday. I'll get my facts right, but it's always great to see Swimming New South Wales' merch stand. They have a whole bunch of great merch to purchase. If you're like me and collect merch at different events, you would have had so many different caps dating back from the 2018 season onwards. That's how many caps I've gotten every time I've done Metros, State, all that. And I reflect back to the COVID times, actually. Back in COVID, when COVID was just the tail end of the really bad COVID, in end of 2021, they held Junior Metros really late in the year. And it ended up being around December 18th and 19th. And not many people went, so it made it much easier to medal and get some good rankings there, as well as some of the other competitions. They were very secluded. There weren't many people. I remember they had parents on one side and kids on the other side. You couldn't cross over, and if they caught you crossing over, out of the aquatic centre. So that was the good old days of COVID. And one of the other meets I do. This is probably one of the oddest meets I've been to. Aquablitz. Not saying Aquablitz is bad, but the club in general. But one of the meets they held was the most interesting meet I've been to. They had races in the 50-meter pool as well as the 25-meter pool. Now, if you're not familiar with SOPAC and how it works, they have a 25-meter diving pool / warm-up pool, and they also have the competition 50-meter pool. Now, of course, you're meant to do warm-up in the 25-meter pool, but for this meet, they had swimmers under the age, I believe it was 13 or 14. I think it was 13. swam their competition in a short course 25-meter warm-up pool. This was the first time I've seen touch pads in the 25-meter pool. It was so weird. And I'm used to going slow in that pool because I'm warming up, so my pacing was a bit off on some of those races. But it was very interesting, very packed. They had ages 13 and over in the 50-meter competition pool. So very interesting. I don't know if they'll ever do that again. I don't know if they have done that again, but very interesting to see how they ran that competition. And by the way, for all your audio industry updates, you can listen to the Biz Audio podcast. I just released a new episode. New episodes every Thursday I'll try to do. And same for Biz By The Water, a new full show every Thursday. We're coming towards the end of the year, everyone. So happy. Finally, once again, you will always, at the end of the year, I think there's 4 videos that I always produce. I think there's a final podcast I do at the end of every year. I do the yearly highlights. I try to do the yearly highlights 2024 recap. There's a few other videos that I do. Yearly stats. There's a few others, but I'll probably be doing a few podcasts. I'm going to try and get some videos out for the podcast where you can see my face. Don't worry, I haven't changed one bit. It's just the old Max you know and hopefully love. We'll see. But as usual, actually, no, I don't have work tomorrow night. Usually I would give a recap on my coaching set that I would be doing tomorrow night. But a competition tomorrow, another swimming competition. First one that I've done since, would have been maybe the Southwest qualifying meet. That Southwest qualifying meet was great. Good to get back in the water. First race in about maybe 6 months. No pun intended, 6, 7 there. Don't worry, no, I'm not no, actually, would have been, 6 months. Last competition I did before that was all schools. All schools is usually around May, June, or July. They've messed it up over the past few years with COVID and everything like that. But anyway, so this tomorrow night, it should be fun at Cranbrook. Cranbrook's a great pool, newly built. And by the way, I also wanted to quickly highlight, I think the Meriden Aquatic Centre, correct me if I'm wrong, I've just been reading some stuff online, a little bit of a hint. Meriden Aquatic Centre might be done sooner than we expected. I did see a few job applications online for Meriden swim coaches today. You have to search a bit deeper than just looking on the surface. You have to click on Meriden sports coaches, and in the description they'll have some swimming qualified coach positions open. I was also doing some research today. The average learn to swim teacher salary or hourly rate has actually gone up a lot over the past few years, which is great. Of course, I'm a learn to swim teacher. Councils are now paying up to $40 an hour, plus time and a half on weekends, and casual loading sometimes. And I don't know how they're making money on some of these classes, because some of these council classes, they only have like 1 or 2 kids going to them. Anyway, that's not for me to worry about. I don't work for a council. Anyway, if you want to hear anything on Biz By The Water, please let us know. You can follow. I've got actually too many Instagram accounts. I've got my main account, Maxi_Friday13. You know what? Sorry, scrap that. I changed it, Maxi_Monday13. I changed the name a while ago. You can follow the Lockdown Biz on Instagram and on YouTube. You can follow at Biz By The Water, at Biz_audio, and at Biz_politics, as well as Biz.photography. So that's a brand new account that I'm running. We're doing some photography, seeing how we go. I'm not experienced in that. I've basically self-taught, actually. That's one of the great things about having a few cameras to play around with. Anyway, I'll get back onto track. I'm not coaching tomorrow night, but I've been focusing on aerobic this week, doing some more stuff with that really bad parachute. It always gets caught up in my legs. If you have had the same problem with the parachute when you're swimming, not just a parachute that you use in the air, but when you're swimming, if you use that parachute, let me know. If it's just me, I know it's definitely not just me, because I've seen lots of people get frustrated with that. We use a red parachute. They are probably some of the worst ones. But the cord, I don't think there's a not scientific name, but a more specified name for it. But the cord would be one of my favorite things to use. It's very interesting. It feels like I'm going to break it. I use the cord in lockdown to train. It's very similar to a parachute, except you're staying in one spot. That's how I trained during lockdown. I think that was one of the wisest decisions I've ever made, to train in a 7-meter pool with a little elastic cord. I get breaking it every now and then. That's why I do prefer the new bungee cords that they've got at my current place of swimming, MLC, as you all know. And one of the other things, training in a 33-meter pool, it's actually quite fun. It's nice and refreshing. Not on a hot day like this, jumping straight into a 33-meter pool. But anyway, we'll see what happens as we get closer to the end of the year. Anyway, that's basically it for this Biz By The Word podcast. Every Thursday, you can listen to me yap on for about 10 minutes. We'll get some longer episodes going up once the holidays start. And I know School holidays are just around the corner, so push through, everyone. Exams are all done for me. I think exams are basically finishing up for a lot of other people. So I'll catch you all next week. Thank you all for listening to Biz by the Water for your daily sport updates.